Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Cookmas, where every day in December I'm sharing a new recipe. Today's recipe is for Taylor Swift's chai cookies. I'm starting off with a bowl. I put 3 cups of all-purpose flour in it, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a teaspoon of baking soda. Give that a good mix, set it aside. Then in another bowl I have 1 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. I'm going to add a bunch of spices to it. So I have 1 1/2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground ginger, 3/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then an 1/8 teaspoon of ground black pepper. It felt really weird putting ground pepper into a cookie recipe, but it works and it tasted really good. So once you get all of that into the bowl, you're going to mix it so everything's well combined. And part of it we're going to take out and put into yet another bowl because we're going to roll the cookie dough in this mixture as well before we bake it. So there's me adding the pepper and then everything's in there. So I'm just going to mix it. So there's no lumps or clumps or anything in that sugar mixture. This is what it should look like. Taking out a 1/3 cup of sugar, putting in a separate bowl to roll the cookie dough. Next I have 2 sticks of softened butter. I'm going to add the remaining sugar mixture to it, cream those together. Then I'm adding 1 large egg and 1 large egg yolk to the cookie mixture, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. It did note that it was really important to have the egg at room temperature. I typically don't do that. I don't think it matters, but I followed the instructions. And then once I had that mixed, I did gradually add in the flour mixture. And then this is what your dough should look like. I'm using a small cookie scoop to portion out the dough. Then I roll it in that sugar mixture that we did earlier. And you're going to preheat your oven to 375. Once you have those all on the cookie sheet, you can cook those for about 10 minutes. They're going to be a little soft and puffy. Going to allow them to completely cool on a wire rack. This is what they look like. And then I made the icing. So for the icing, we have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, and I did give that a quick mix before adding in the eggnog. I added in 3 tablespoons of eggnog. If you don't want to use eggnog, you could also use heavy whipping cream, but I like eggnog. So once I got all that in there, gave it a really good mix. The icing is very thick. And then you're just going to take each cookie, dip it in there, and then set it back on the wire rack to dry and set up. You can also use a spoon just to put a little dollop on there and like paint it on there, but I dipped most of mine. I found it was a little bit quicker. And here's what they looked like when they were done. I thought these were absolutely delicious and they were very addicting. I could not just eat one. I normally eat like 2 or 3 at a time. And honestly, I could have tore down like a whole plate of them in one sitting. They were that good. Love them. So if you give it a try, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.